Hi, you're watching Tristan. I'm going to be making a camping barbecue, wood barbecue, out of two 9-kilo gas bottles. These are expired gas bottles. The first job is to empty the gas. So I left this upside down all night. The idea of this is that gas is heavier than air, so the gas will just naturally flow out of the bottle and hopefully be replaced by fresh air. The next step is to just blow compressed air into the bottle and circulate the air a couple of times. Cut the handle off and then remove the valve. I had to remove the valve, I had to heat the valve up as the sealant had formed a really strong bond and I was unable to do it without heat, so you might find you have to heat yours up as well. Now the idea of these barbecues is I want my barbecue to sit that way up, so I can use a frying pan on top. I want the lid to come off, so I can then use a camp oven. And the idea is that the camp oven is going to sit inside. I'll have a little door here and 3 legs. So these bottom pieces can be different. The other bottle, the base is a lot higher. I wanted the thinner one, just because I think it looks better when the pan sat on it. So then the next job was to find the centre. I just used a normal compass. I went from all the edges, drew a little line until I got my centre point. Once I got my centre point, then made this. It's just a spike with a pin on it. I then drew my circle around. I'm now going to drill some holes, and then I'm going to get a jigsaw with a metal cutter on it, and then I'm just going to cut this top edge out. Once you've got your hole established, you can then slide the jigsaw in, and again with a wood cutting tip, and just saw around the circumference. Okay, I've now cut my lid off. This will be the overall lid, but on the other bottle. That cut took me about 5 minutes. Next I'm going to be cutting the centre out of here. This is where the flames will come out of, and then I'll be cutting another disc which sits and locks into that. Just cut through that way. Now I'm cutting through that way because my blade isn't long enough to get down and do a full cut. So every time it cuts it will come out of the hole, so I don't want that. So it'll be a little bit of a slow process doing it this way, but we're just going to nibble this next hole out. Okay, I've cut it out. This is where the flames go up through here. Frying pan goes on here. This one was difficult to cut out with the jigsaw because the curvature of the inside of the cylinder. So the circle that I've cut out isn't in a perfect circle, but it's as close as. It doesn't matter too much about this circle because the next plate will fit right over the top and it will hide any of the parts where I've miscut. But I always say if you can draw, when you draw a perfect circle, if you can cut on the line as much as possible all the time, then you don't get so many mistakes. When you're doing it freehand, it's never going to be perfect, but aim small, you miss small, apparently. So that was my effort. On to the next bit.
Yeah, let's cut through this, she'll be right. She'll be right, mate! Now, everyone, this is how he buggers it up.
This is how I get it right.
This will only work if you're a pommy git.
Right, so I've cut the bottom off, and now I'm going to cut inside this gown. That's got to be bigger than the one I cut out of the other bottle. So I've made it about 20mm wider. And this piece, make sure it goes over, fits over nice and snug, and I want to be cutting in about there, just about there. So I've got 2 cuts to do. I got my circles. The smaller one I just use a small compass, spun it around, and then the larger one, again I use this little piece of steel with a point on it, and I just tape the pen to it, held it, and then lightly round that. Okay, so I finished jigsawing out the main hole. So this is the going to be the barbecue base that I'm going to use. That's the ring that I cut out. So now that will fit on top of there. Turn and lock, and then my plate will sit in there as well as turning and locking. Now I've just got to make sure the pot fits in to the hole. Now I've just tried my pot for size. It fits in the hole perfectly. It's a nice snug fit. Now I've just got to cut these tags out. Now these little cutouts will also be used as part of the locking mechanism for the main cap of the gas, so of the wood barbecue. So next I'm going to just draw around here and then just cut little tags out so the whole pot drops into the old gas pot. Okay, I've now just finished cutting the little tabs out the side. Did that by just placing the pot in the hole, marking off where the tabs are. I've put 4 in just to make it even, and that means the pot will go anyway. In. Or it can be cooked like that. Okay, I've now cut all my tabs out. These are fairly rough. I didn't do any great calculations to get these distances, but I have tried to make them all about the same size. Then refitted the top, and then marked on the top where the holes are. You can see there's a couple of lines there, and that's because what I've done is I've turned it around, lined it up as best I can, and then put the marks in. So this is what I've ended up with after going around 4 times. This is how far the holes are out on here. So what I've worked out is I've gone around and found that 50mm in the middle, either side, is going to be how big my tab is. So if I put a 50mm tab in here, it will fit every gap. So the next thing to do is to take this and make 4 tabs, and 4 spaces, because the tabs are going to be welded up on top of the spaces. Okay, so that's the top now finished. It spins round and undoes like that. There's my 4 tabs. I've used the same thickness steel as the bottle itself. Now that will sit any position and lock. Okay, now what I've done is I've made my locking lid, and all I did simply was to cut 4 grooves out, cut with the a small drill, and to put 4 plates through. 2 of the plates I've put a little hole either side, and on the underside I made little cutout grooves there, which are what makes the lid lock. I've tried putting a handle across here, it didn't work so well, so I'm going to run with these rings. This is just a bit of wire, wrap around a piece of tubing, and then just cut as close as you can to the last cut to allow it to make a nice circle, like that one there. So I'm going to put another ring on that side, and hopefully that will be enough to lock it. The reason I didn't put a handle across here is because when the handle went across and through, when it folded flat, because it needs to fold flat so a pan can sit on there, the other side was poking up, so it means that the pan wouldn't sit steady. So I've had to get rid of that idea. If you do want a little handle across here, I suggest you put 2 of these tabs that way and put the holes through that way, and hopefully you might get a better result than what I did. But hopefully this is going to be alright. I'm not going to weld them for the time being. I'm just going to leave them as they are.